Are we live? Are we live? Are we live? And are we live? It says we streaming. It says we streaming. What's up, boss fam? It's your boy Done Beezy. And today is part two of Ask the Boss. Well, before we get started, I want to take a second to shout out the Boss Patreon. On the Boss Patreon, we're going to be giving out a coaching subscription service. There are three levels: bronze, silver, and the gold. For all three levels, we're going to be getting exclusive early access to different pieces of the Boss course. We're also going to be getting some exclusive Boss black belt level knowledge getting released exclusively to Patreon. In addition to that, I'm going to be providing different video reviews. So for the video reviews, you send me a video of something that you're working on, and I give you some advice about how to get that move based on what you need to do with your body, and how to get that move based on what you need to do with your skates. On the bronze level, you get 5 video reviews. On the silver level, you get 10 video reviews. And on the gold level, you get 10 video reviews in a 1 hour one-on-one checkup with the boss, where I take a second, I look at everything that you've done, I break down where your progress is going, and I figure out what you need to do for the next month to really get to where you are trying to go. Now is the best time to sign up for the Boss Patreon. I'm actually about to change the pricing scheme on the Boss Patreon. Right now it's going for the low ski. It's still going to be going for a very moderate rate, but I'm expecting an influx of people, and because I'm getting an influx of people, I want to make sure that it's quality. I want a quality group of skaters that I'm working with in coaching, and that means I can only coach so many skaters. So I think my limit is about 40 skaters across the board, 40 skaters. So yeah, I'm about to change that up, but everybody that's down right now, they're going to stay down at their current pricing range, but everybody that jumps on afterwards, it's going to have the increased Boss Patreon price as well. I got about 10 people on the Patreon right now, so you know what I mean. That's 30 spots left, 30 spots on the Boss Patreon. Well, anyway, this is Ask the Boss Part 2. Hey everybody, hey. I got some questions. I got my questions nice and lined up. And I'm going to start off with a couple of personal questions about myself, just to get them out of the way before I get into the meat of the skate questions. I want to give everybody an opportunity to come on in and to come on in to ask the boss. Question number 1, how old are you? I am 29 years old. I'm going to be turning 30 in 6 months. I'm turning 30 in 6 months. I'm just going to do it. I'm going to stop wanting to do it. I'm going to do a countdown to 30. I don't think turning 30 is dramatic. I'm absolutely over millennials. I'm over everybody that made a This Is 30 post. I'm over it. I am so over it. I think people made turning 30 so corny. And I don't think, thank you so much. Hey, Tanisha, I've been meaning to message you back. Hey, what's up, Sandra? How you living? Thank you so much. I appreciate the support. But yeah, they made turning 30 so corny. They made turning 30 so corny. It's so corny. But anyway, yes, 30 is when life begins. I mean, especially if you're a man, because that's when a lot of dudes are gonna really start hitting their earning stride. So it's really hard to really make that type of money. But anyway, that's another thing. What keeps you going on the days when you're not feeling it? Honestly, the thing that keeps me going on the days that's not when I'm not feeling it is just thinking about getting older. The reason why I decided to start to dance, and the reason why I decided to like go on a path of an entertainer, is because I was in the school. I was like 23, and I realized that every single year it becomes less likely that I'll ever become a professional dancer. Every year that passes, your ability to achieve something or get to the highest level of some type of athletic field, it goes down drastically. And something that people really don't take into account is entertainment is for the youth. There's a 100% of time limit on everything. There's a time limit on it. But if you're not famous by the time you graduate from high school, it's probably not gonna happen for you. That's how like time sensitive the whole thing. And then you know what I mean. Everybody's like, "Oh, I'm not trying to get famous. I'm not trying." If you're trying to do anything, if you're trying to play a sport professionally, if you're trying to dance, if you're trying to model, if you're trying to do anything but have a regular job, not a regular job, but you know what I mean, follow a more traditional path in life, it's probably gonna happen before you graduate from high school. And then I graduated from high school and it wasn't happening for me. It wasn't even on my radar. You know what I mean? So if you really watch it, and then what I really think about, hey, what's up, Any? How's everybody doing? How's everybody doing? What's up, Cherry? How you living? When I really think about it, is honestly, I just understand that this entire life is gonna come to an end. Not even my literal life, not the part of life where I'm breathing. I'm talking about the part of life where I'm living in Thailand, where I wake up every day and I train every day, and you know what I mean. I'm a skate there and I'm a coach there. This is all gonna come to an end. I'm gonna age out of this entire situation, and when I age out, uh, I can still have a lot of successes. You know what I mean? I'm thinking about, honestly, after I quit skating, I started thinking about taking myself out the equation and figuring out how I could make more money or have a bigger impact by putting other people into that equation. So that's where stuff really starts to happen. It's like going from Jay-Z to Sean Combs. You know what I mean? Going from Shaq to Shaquille O'Neal. Going from Magic Johnson to Magic Johnson, the investor, where he's opening Starbucks into places. And so you know what I mean. You have your career, but the thing is, at the end of your career, it's the end of your career. At the end of your career, it's the end of your career. Whatever I did, I did. Whatever I didn't do, I didn't do. And all I'm gonna have to do is look at all the hot gunners. I'm gonna have all the little kids to look at, and I'm gonna be able to go look back and I'm gonna remember that time. Like, bro, you remember when you had an opportunity to do that? And so, I think about that, and I think about looking at it and be like, yeah, but bro, you was ass, you was slaw, you ain't make it. You had dreams, you ain't accomplished them. You made progress, but you didn't accomplish anything. You didn't get the dub. You didn't win. You lost. You lost. And there's nothing that you're ever going to be able to do about that L because it's over. And that's what really gets me going on the days when I don't feel it. Failure and death. But you know what I mean? Everybody's not on that type of time. Before we go on, I got one poster in the back, but I got more posters. It's just, I only had time to get one up because I was running a little behind, and I wanted to make sure that I got the stream up. Ooh, what did you say? So, I got some posters up, and I'm gonna put them up after this. Exit strategy, always a good idea. Yeah, you gotta have that exit strategy. Cause people act like you're not young, bruh. If you're 21, you old, bruh. I hate to break it to you. If you're 22, you old because you out of college. If you look at all the media, all the media is about people from like 15 to 22. Afterwards, people don't even make stuff for you. Oh, thank you so much. The only stuff they make for you after that are menstrual cycle commercials and Viagra commercials. That's what you can look forward to after you turn 22. And you know what I mean? There's just so much youth chasing in the culture. But it's because people don't have nothing to look forward to. And you know what I mean? Like, but yeah, real soon, honestly, bro, I got one more year in the game, 2 more years tops. If something pop off crazy, I might have 2.5 more years. But the way I'm moving right now, it's not going to be for too much longer. Why I always skate to win? Why do you always skate to win? I always skate to win because people don't understand. I'm talking about this in my Why Roller Skating is Toxic video. And something I think that's really going around the community, and the reason why roller skating, the way that it's currently being sold, is so popular among people, is because they took out the competitive element. They took out the accomplishment element of it. And I know it sounds ridiculous to say that. Like, why wouldn't somebody want to actually win? Why wouldn't somebody want to actually compete? Why wouldn't somebody want an opportunity to do something bigger? and change something. The thing is, when you have that opportunity to win, you also have that opportunity to lose. And I just don't think that. I feel like I don't think people are really confident in themselves because I remember not being confident in myself. I remember a time in my life where I was scared to compete because I wasn't scared to. I was scared to actually take a look in the mirror and say like, "Yo, bro, like if you don't not able to do this, then you're gonna have to admit that you failed." And there's just been so many times. And I go into the story sometimes, like when I tried to learn how to break dance, antidepressant commercials. Oh yeah, I forgot about them antidepressant commercials. Tons of Do you have ADHD? Are you a millennial? Oh my god, it's so corny. But yeah, I can't believe I got off topic. Would he always skate to win? Would he always skate to win? Man, yo, yeah, yeah, yeah. It's so hard to like. It's like saying I want to do a backflip. I want to do a backflip. Oh, I want to skateboard. I want to skateboard. Well, in 6 months, you're gonna have that progress or not. You're gonna be better at that move or not. You gonna hit the backflip or not, and you live with that. You live with it. You live with it, and it's like if you constantly been going through your life, you wanted to do a couple things, and something that's always plagued you is the results because we can't because as humans, like we get a shot of dopamine when we win something because losing things means you die in the animal kingdom. You lose enough food, you're gonna starve to death. You lose a battle against another male for rights to procreate within the pack, then you don't get none. You don't get no animal cookie. That's the end of your animal cookie. You don't get none because you just got punked. And so it's like it's not as extreme in our current society, but it still exists within us. Like, the survival of the fittest, the desire to win because winning equals survival. And it's scary. I think it's really, really, really scary to look in the mirror and say, yo, I actually want to accomplish this. Yo, to look at yourself in the mirror and say that. And I've lived my life and I haven't accomplished the things that I wanted to accomplish. Like I wanted to jam skate when I was 16. I wanted to skate like Diamond Walker when I was 16. It's like 10 years from that. It's more than 10 years later. And I'm just now getting around to it. Break dancing, like all the martial arts stuff. I wanted to do this for years. And I just know that the regret and the pain of not really putting in that work and earnestly doing it. And so that's why I always skate to actually accomplish things. And then I'm a boss. That's what bosses do. That's what bosses do. I talk about it on the time. This is the boss channel. I know like I do some roller skating. I know I do that, but this is the boss channel where we talk about the boss habits and the boss mindsets. A boss is a person who is in charge of a group or an organization. The reason why people are bosses is because they make decisions that make money. They make decisions that get results. Because I like to live the impossible. I lived a long time. Oh man. I lived a long time. What's the name? YouTube is not receiving enough data. I lived a long time not living the impossible. I lived a long time living the impossible. I lived a long time living under what was possible. And so I'm tired of it. And the only way to really live a different life is to, you know what I mean? You gotta get the results. You gotta win. And so that's why I always skate to win. Uh why do you spend so much time talking about beginner skaters? So this is something that I really want to clear up. And it's something like if you read the book Outliers and what by not Michael Gladwell, but Gladwell, I got to look up his first name. One of the examples that he gives that really stuck out to me is he describes John Wooten. He's a famous college basketball coach. And the way that his process would break down is he would tell you what you wanted to do. He had a three-step process, and he did most of it in three sentences. He'd say what he wanted you to do. He'd show you what it looked like, and then he'd show you what it didn't look like. So this is the goal. This is a positive example, and this is the negative example. And what I'm doing a lot, and it's something that I have to talk about a lot because it is an absolute problem, and there's so much information going around, and there's so much misinformation going around, and a lot of people are learning off of the internet, and there are pitfalls to learning off of the internet. Is people need to understand what a bad skater looks like. People, I don't feel like people have had an opportunity to understand what a bad skater looks like. I feel like the social media comments that people put on bad skating and low skating videos really makes it difficult to understand what a bad skating video looks like. And if somebody's going to be learning off the internet and they're going to be learning from tutorials, they need to understand when the person doing that tutorial can't skate for real. And uh that's an essential life skill because I remember back when I was a church, we had a spiritual gifts test, and when I was younger, I never could figure out my spiritual gifts. I can never figure them out. But as an adult, and after looking at everything, I really think I have my spiritual gifts kind of locked in. My first spiritual gift is service. I like to work. I like to serve people. I like to do the work. I like to be there. I'm not a hero. I'm a service person. I'm not Batman. I'm the firefighter. I show up every single time. There's no thank yous. I live to serve. The second is prophecy. The eyes, the Sharingan eyes, the pinwheel eyes. I watch it. I break it down. I can see it. I see things that normal men can't see. I can see places. I can see through time. I can see it. And the third one is the spirit of discernment. Discernment is the ability to know what's good and the ability to know what's bad. And the reason why I've been able to get into so many situations that have done so much good for me is because of my spirit of discernment. Like, a lot of people won't really understand, but yo, bro, growing up in the hood is a little bit different than growing up in the suburbs. It's drastically different. It's drastically different. The types of things that you grew up seeing is different than the types of things that I grew up seeing. The types of pressures that you grew up seeing are different than the types of pressures that I grew up seeing. Even the types of people who are in my immediate range, like the types of adults that were in your household are different. They're on another level than the adults that was in my household. Yeah, the level of opportunities that you have. And one of the biggest things is it's not cool to be smart in the hood. You cannot be smart in the hood. You 100%. It's not a thing. It's one of those things. And I'm a very smart guy. So the first thing that I had to do, and the first time that I had to step outside of myself, and the first time that I had to really, change the way that I was moving, because if I was moving like everybody else, I wasn't going to survive. It was the moment that I decided that I was going to be smart. I was going to be a smart guy. I was going to be so smart that I didn't have to go to school at Towers anymore. I was going to be so smart that I didn't have to live in Georgia anymore. I was going to be so smart that I never have to go anywhere or do anything that I didn't want to do again. That's discernment. I could have been in a gang. I don't mean like, oh, I could have been in a gang. Like, ooh, no, like I could have called a guy and joined a gang. I could have ran into houses. I ran into them houses. I ran into a couple houses, guys. It's like this isn't a hypothetical situation. And so, you know what I mean? We also sing a song about letting our little light shine in the church. And I 100% refuse. I 100% refuse to put a lampshade over my little light. I've refused to put a lampshade over my little light. I refuse to not use the gifts that the Lord has given me. I refuse to not use the spirit that's helped me survive up to this point. Like, you know what I mean? I do things that nobody else could do. I came from places nobody else can come from. And one of the things is that spirit of discernment. And if I can pass that on to my students, they will skate more effectively. They will skate more effectively. And that's why it's not about the skaters. It's because they are so poor that I had to actually put a public service announcement out about it. For example, I'm pretty sure everybody has heard about the situation with Kels, the popular skater who learned from D. Upshaw, who's been charging $100 for poor skate lessons in LA right now. If I hadn't said anything, she would continue. She could, because if Sarai hadn't said anything, and if I didn't echo that, or if I don't talk about it, then people might just be like, oh man, this is cool. It's cool for somebody to charge $100 for a skate lesson, teach one transition, teach one piece of footwork, teach one trick, and then ask you to skate around for the rest of the hour. People might think it's cool that like, oh man, like, oh, so she's gonna learn from D Upshaw, an absolute legend in the game, an African American man. Let's not forget that. Blonde hair, blue eyed white woman who's also taking up a lot of the jobs. She's also like, she's benefited from the erasure of the culture because they want girls that look like her in the videos. So she's sucking up all the jobs in LA. She getting all the attention on social media, and she charging $100 for roller skating lessons. And this isn't me just saying like, oh, the roller skating lesson is bad. Like, this is me saying like, yo, people who went to the lesson said this about it. And well, if you are in a trap and you find somebody teaching roller skating lessons like this isn't okay. You don't have to live that way. Use this is Dun Beezy's spirit of discernment. This is the things that he's seen. Now use that knowledge for yourself. Now imagine if I didn't give that type of knowledge to the people that I was serving. And now y'all out there paying $100 for skate lessons. But if you really, really want some skate lessons, and in LA, I got a couple of skaters in LA. Hey, what's up? Might make you a target. It's 100% gonna make you a target. Let me type in a couple of skaters. This girl right here, this woman right here, she teaches in West LA. A reason to skate. She confirmed her will is just confirmed. Her skate is confirmed. Her swag is confirmed. Everything about her 100% confirmed. This is another woman who teaches in LA. She's confirmed. She's thorough. I looked at her progressions. And now, like, boom, maybe I just saved somebody $50. Even if they hit you for the 50 for the lesson, these women right here that I just typed into the chat, they're going to get you good. Yeah, like, they're going to get you right. And so, you know what I mean? That's why I always talk about it. I do it for the people. And, yeah, I'm just going to leave that at that. Because, at the end of the day, sometimes people attack me. And sometimes people like to say rude names about me. But the reason why I don't shoot back at them is because I'm better. Like, I'm actually really, really clever. But a lot of times I decide not to say anything back because people just going to screenshot what I said. And two, people not really ready to get the same energy back that they giving out. People that say rude things to me, people are like try to shame me, but they're not really ready to get that back. And that's a big thing because you know what I mean. That's why I always say at the end of the day, you know what I mean. I feel like sometimes I do get geeked up. Sometimes I do, go off on people a little bit. But at the end of the day, I like to at least let people know where my heart is, and I can make sure that I work on that other stuff so it don't come to that no more. Let's keep it pushing. How should I warm up and cool down exercises be different? Your warm up and your cool down should be different. My warm up is about getting my body ready for activities. So I'm going to stretch everything that I need. I'm going to get my entire range of motion. I'm going to wake my legs up. I'm going to wake up my quads and my glutes and my calves. My cool down is focused on recovery. For my cool down, I'm stretching. For my cool down, somebody told me that, or I need to do more research. He said that stretching actually doesn't help you get more flexible. It might not help you get as flexible as resistance training. And the thing is, I do understand that aspect because the most effective stretchers, they use gravity in order to help them stretch, and they even stretch with other people to help get more flexible. However, flexibility, yoga and stretching are great ways to build different body mechanics and different strengths. So I make sure that I'm doing my yoga at the end of the day. I make sure that I'm stretching at the end of the day, and especially at the end of a session, because stretching still helps with pain relief. And it's like what I was talking about with recovery. If you're in so much pain that you can't train the next day, and that's one of the big reasons why I started making sure I was doing yoga It started back when I was in Step Africa. I got a $40 plan at a yoga studio, Hot Yoga in DC. I'm gonna shout them out. They on 8th Street because they looked out for the boy a couple years ago. And yeah, it was unlimited classes for $40. And it was just that day. I went home, I bought it online, and I'm so glad because I came back the next day and it was like, oh, you missed it, won't 250. And I looked at them like, I bought it online. Aha! Aha! But yeah, I learned a lot of yoga there. And something that I noticed is I would train for 6 hours in the studio and then I would do an hour of yoga. And I thought I would be more tired. But doing the hot yoga after that time and the sweating and the stretching, it made me feel like I hadn't even trained. And that's when I realized, okay, maybe there's something to this yoga stuff. But yeah, that's the biggest difference between the two. And I'm gonna be talking about. I'm developing the boss course. I'm really working right now to develop a lot about turning, and I'm developing some new drills. But I'm gonna get into it. I'm gonna get into it. If you haven't already, can you hit that like button or hit that dislike button just to get that engagement up? Just put that in the air. If you're coming into the live, hit that up. And now it's time to get into it. These are the next couple questions are gonna be, yeah, some really really big questions, some really really big skate questions. So yeah, let's get into it. Let's get into it. It's time to get into it. The first question that I got is how far back in history. Um, some dude said I skated in the 70s, and I've gotten a couple history questions. The thing about roller skating history is one of the oldest styles, the Chicago style. It was known as the Chicago style before it was the JB style. It goes back to the Savoy Ballroom in the Lindy Hop era. The Lindy Hop era was popular in the late 1930s and early 1940s. So there's about 100 years of roller skating history at this point. 100 is about 100 years of documented what people would call rhythm skating history. The reason why I'm moving away from the term rhythm skating is because rhythm skating is code language for black people. Let's keep it real. And I don't really like using coded language. I usually use the coded language just because it's in the lexicon, it's what people search, and I got to get my SEO up. But a lot of times I say things like the style skating community or the roller skating community or the rink skating community because I want to stay away from that word rhythm skating. You can say whatever you want, but I overstand issues. I overstand. And so a lot of times I need to overstand it and then I need to understand it so I can talk to everybody else about it so that y'all can understand it. But you know what I mean? I overstand this one. So yeah, United States is good, but United States is not a history film. United States, it will give you a nice overview of everything that's happened so far. It'll give you not everything. It'll give you a nice overview of modern skating. It'll give you a nice view of some things that are happening in the community and some serious problems that are going on and some things that people are combating. But it's not going to give you a big, huge history lesson. I get the question how to really get more and more into history. United States will give you an opportunity to do something. I feel that people just don't do enough. I'm gonna give you a couple of things. I feel like people use Google to do everything but search. People will Google everything but Google some skate terms. Every single time you see a skate style pop up on United States, Google it. Google it and search it in YouTube. Detroit style, when they talk about Detroit, search Detroit. When they talk about JB, search JB. When they talk about Atlanta, search Atlanta. When they talk about the slow walk, search the slow walk. And that's going to get you started. And the thing is, if you, what's the name? It's like, there's a couple ways to understand the history. And when I usually talk about history for most people, I think that most skaters would benefit just from understanding what people skate like. If you just search those terms and watch the videos on YouTube or even just watch Skate Life, you'd be like, oh, okay. Or when I break down the different types of skating inside of my 8 tips to go from Bambi to Boss video, If you just searched every single one of those skating, like, okay, what's flow skating? Okay, what's artistic skating? Okay, what's jam skating? Like, search it on YouTube and get off the Planet Roller fitness stuff. If it's that Planet Roller, everything is jam skating. If they got on a pair of toe caps, if they got toe caps on their skates, skip the video. If they got on a pair of Moxie, skip the video. Just skip it. If they got on a pair of Moonlight boots, skip it. They rocking Impala, skip it. That's not where you're gonna get into history from. Cause that's new. All that's new. All that's new. I don't care what they got typed there. I think I know one woman. I mean, even the thing is, people really trying to bust the styles in the new boots. Like, they don't even look the same. They swag is off. Like, if you really watch them, like, you know what I mean. Watch people when they got they skates on, and then watch them when they got like the newer skates on, like the color skates and stuff. And so it's like you'll see like the difference in between the joints. And yeah, that's what's gonna be good. And that's what's gonna help you find the history. I'm sorry to have to say it like that, but if they rock, because the thing is about the Moxies and the toe caps, the Impalas, the Moonlights, all this, the colorful, sparkly, darkly ass skates. I ain't mean to call them like that. That's new. That's new. So you can't find the history from that, and that's why I say go back, go back, go back. Um, the next thing that you can do after you specifically take some time to search the terms, I'm not sure if anybody has heard the song. DJ D actually made a song. He made a song called Skate World. DJ D has a song called Skate World. If you go and listen to Skate World, he's actually going to shout out um all types of terms in the skate world. But that's another one. But I guess a smarter way to do it is follow some skate DJs. I'm gonna post some in the chat afterwards. I'm gonna just put it inside this live, and I talk about them sometimes. But if you follow roller skating DJs, then the roller skating DJs, they talk about skate culture. They play the music, and it's gonna help you understand it a little bit more if you follow some DJs. And I'm not into into the chat. But Great on Skates, the Sick on Sick Skate Crew, these are two really good accounts for history. Because Great on Skates, it's like a collective, it's a collaboration of people who skate, of skaters. And yeah, the woman that runs the page, she does a really good job of shouting people out. She says a lot about different things in history. So those are some just really easy ways. And another thing that I do is I train my algorithm. I get people coming up and telling me that they have a racially biased algorithm. Well, I had one too, until I stopped. I started marking not interested on the videos. If I see a beginner for a beginner tutorial, I'm not interested in it. I don't like that type of energy in my life. So I just mark not interested when it comes up on my page. And what you can also do is if you save videos, saving a video will put it inside of the YouTube would be like, oh, not YouTube, Insta be like, oh, homie saving this. Because they saving it, I'm gonna start putting it more up on their Discover page. Because that's like my Discover page right now, it's all Michael Jackson clips. It's like 90% Michael Jackson clips. Because I save Michael Jackson clips and I watch them later. So it only shows me Michael Jackson clips. And because I'm always marking not interested on low performance content, I only get high performance content. Because I like, you know what I mean? I see a pair of toe caps, I'm hitting not interested on that video. And I ain't scared to say it. I know that's the video that's gonna get people mad. That's the line that everybody gonna that's the line I'm gonna end up on World Star. He said if he see a pair of toe caps, he just mark not interested. It's not. Well, here's Skate World. DJ When I walk up in the ring, the cameras be flashing, the homies be dapping, the girls be looking. That's him? A young dude on skate. Could have been a rapper, could have been a singer, could have been an actor, could have been a dreamer. Shout out to the skate girl, shout out to the skate boys. Homie, matter of fact, this one's for the skate world. This one is for the skate world.
This one is for the more better one. You know my homie Ed. When they hit the floor, you know they so sick with it. You know they stay fly. You know they stay.
DJ D, he made this song like this song. If DJ D was a criminal, if DJ D was a criminal, Skate World would be the song that got him convicted. Cause that's how much skate knowledge he really drops in Skate World. He gonna drop his homie names. He gonna drop the different styles. He gonna drop terms. He gonna say stuff like roll call. And it's like I want to focus on working on a dictionary. Like I listened to his song, DJ Denzel D, and also DJ D, and I make sure to put him inside my DJ list. But after listening to Skate World, because I actually bought his tape on Bandcamp, like I support them. I put money in people's pockets, and I was listening to it, and it inspired me. It inspired me to create more. It inspired me to define more. It inspired me to write more. So that's a really, really good part. That's just the social media parts. Yeah, Lord, the toe caps, man. People then, you know what make me mad about toe caps? People then gonna say that they think skates is ugly without toe caps. I was like, oh, I'm just gonna have to let this one go, bruh. Like, you know what I mean? I let that one go. After you finish that, there's a couple of there's some really, really good materials that are coming out, and there's a couple of documentaries that you can also check out specifically for the LA scene. Roller Dreams is a 1 hour and 22-minute documentary about the Venice Beach scene. I've been meaning to get it, and it's on Venmo and stuff now. And then Amira Palmer, she made a book. I think it's The Evolution of Skating. And in her book, The Evolution of Skating, she talks to people like Great on Skates. She talks to my homie Tony and the leader of the Sick on Skates crew. Laura, I gotta stop hanging out with Laura. She's saying everything that I'm saying, and just one person saying it is giving me more confidence. But if you got toe caps, you rock them, but they just not for me. And they're also just a dead giveaway that you just started skating. But I know somebody gonna be like, but yeah, what are my OGs from? Yeah, it's just that one OG. Everybody else ain't got the toe caps on. Amira Palmer, The Evolution of Skating, and she does a lot of research. She talked to a lot of skaters, and she like sat down with it. And the thing about her is she's from a generation before me. She's a little bit older than me, and so a lot of these people are her peers. She got Smooth Goddess in there. She got a lot of really good skaters in there. Honestly, watching her and seeing her book, I saw what I was doing. I saw everything that I was planning, and she inspired me to go harder. She inspired me to find more stories. She inspired me to get more in depth with it, because I'm going to be using her book as a resource for my videos in the very, very near future. So you know what I mean? That's when I'm just like, you got to give a second to shout her out. There's one more book. I need to find it, though. I'm having trouble finding it. I can't believe I lost it. What's up, Portia? How you doing? What's up, London? It's I forgot what time it is in London. Tyler, don't hit me with that OMG, Tyler. Tyler at the house like, what did you say? Hey, Tyler. Oh, yeah, I know Tyler. Tyler, what you doing today, man? Tyler probably got something fun playing. All the kids in Phuket, they be having so much fun. I ain't have this much fun when I was growing up. My life was sad. Sad as hell. Oh, we was on that. Oh, my God, it was on that stuff every day. I was like, Jesus. Why I got to live like this, man? This is getting out of control, man. Anyway. Dudes be going to extracurricular activities and stuff. That's the funny part for me. I'm like, what? Y'all got activities? Woo, we ain't had no activities growing up. My bad. I lost my questions. But yeah. Those are just some good resources that'll get you started. And to talk about the LA scene a little bit, playing games. What game you playing? I actually pulled out Smash Bros, bruh. I've been putting hours on Smash Bros, bruh. Bruh, I'm putting hours on Smash Bros right now, bruh. For the LA scene, I would take a look at the Wood Riders, because the thing about it, The thing that people don't really and the SWA, the skaters with attitude, don't understand is you cannot fake the funk. You can't fake the funk with these styles. You can't learn them on the internet and then walk up into the hood. Not the hood per se, but I'm saying the hood not as a synonym for economically depressed neighborhood, but the hood is a synonymous with the places and with the people that's really on this. Cause the thing is, you can come into like a lot of white spaces with it. Like, you know what I mean? If you watch United States, Reggie takes his style to white spaces, but bringing these styles to controlled space, it changes them because of like it's an entire culture. Like, Moonlight, that's that rink that's infamous that for outlawing small wheels, skating backwards, and advanced skating. Um, that's just an example of what happens. They don't even allow you to bring in elements of the culture into that. It's a different culture. There's a different rule set. There's a different way that we interact. There's a different way that we talk to each other. There's a different way that we move. And that's why I think it's so important. And that's why I'm always talking about teachers. That's why I'm always talking about the look. And I'm actually going to be addressing this in my book too. Like the real reason why you're always going to be a beginner is because everybody's going to gatekeep you. Give me a second. I'll be right back. I got to adjust the light. And I think people think that gatekeeping is or exclusively like, hey man, you can't come in here, woman. How dare you try to skate? But gatekeeping is, hey yo, bro, homie, you really with all this, dog? Baby man, what's really good with you, boy? Like, what's really good? Like, cause you come in here, you talking about all this, you talking about all that. You gotta earn the right to really speak in places. You just can't. You don't walk into your job and then just start walking in there telling everybody what to do. Especially if you don't got no results, you never made no money, you never been no places. You got to get your respect in each and every space that you go into. You got to get your respect in each and everything that you do. And especially with these styles, people think they style is the best. Everybody think they style the best. So if you go to Chicago, they don't care how much you up top. They don't care how much you can stride, bro. Boy, if you don't JB, you don't JB. And that's that. If you go down to Atlanta, okay, yeah, you JB. JB has his place. It has his place in roll call. But the King of Cascade skates Atlanta style. There's literally a competition to decide who's the quote unquote King of Cascade, and he skated Atlanta. Like Push, the reason why Push is so popular, and Push couldn't be popular like that. If Push came up in Jersey, he wouldn't skate like that. If Push came up in Jersey, he wouldn't be the same guy. Even if you take Push and you put him in Jersey, he's not the same guy anymore, because in Jersey, they want to see people skate like Be Young. People still gonna be like, oh man, that's Push, he this, he that. But even the music that they gonna play up there, it's not made to give Push an opportunity to be Push. And so that's just a really big part of it. And that's a really big something just to keep in mind. And so yeah, like with any culture, you really have to be there. You have to go there. You have to feel the bounce, and that's always gonna be an element of it. But in the Houston scene that you know of, I can take a look at it, Portia, and then I can get back to you. I'm still in Phuket, Tyler. I don't know why people in Thailand be asking me where I am, like y'all don't see all my videos. I'm sorry, I mean the kids. But yeah, so regardless of anything that you do, you can watch all the documentaries in the world. You can follow the accounts. You can learn the moves, but you gotta be there. And everything that I really say is to give people an opportunity, and that's that's gonna be like the big goal of my progression. That's the big goal of a lot of things that I say. That's the big goal of me teaching these different styles, to give you an opportunity to not stick out so much, because some things you're not gonna be able to change. Like skating in a circle, skating in the rink produces a different type of speed. It produces a different pace. It changes the way that you specifically dance. And a lot of pandemic skaters or COVID skaters, whatever people want to go with it today, because a lot of people skate for Instagram, people will look good in a square, but if you have them skate in a small square, they'd start looking like really, really bad. Or if people might look good doing a crazy leg, but the second they try to go to some other footwork, they start stumbling. And something that people are really going to have trouble with is skating outside, like skating around the ring, because there's a pace that you have to keep. There's something that you have to specifically do. There's different ways to do those dance moves. So it's like if you're not in an environment where you're consistently doing it, then you're not going to be able to consistently keep it. Even me, I struggle with the outside. That's one of the really big reasons why I'm not a big, huge outside skater. I don't even have an opportunity to skate the outside. Like I could skate around the parking lot, but it's different. It's like it's difficult to set my speed because I'm setting it against myself. There's just so many different things that really go into stuff. My bad. I'm just adjusting my little no my little internet box. No. Anyway, cause yeah, I'm gonna finish up in the next 15 minutes because my joint it be messing up. I'm usually good for like an hour, but when I try to go over that hour, that's when it start messing up. So I'm gonna finish up really quickly, and then that's what I mean. And for the full breakdown of LA, I'm gonna tell y'all a little bit about LA, but for the full breakdown of LA, you're gonna have to wait because I'm still talking to a lot of people about LA. Some things that are really popular in LA, like they talk about in United States, shoe game is Imperial. Shoe game, shoe customize, skate customization game. And until you got on a pair of Stacy Adams and some in the Fomax, like it's hard to even LA without it because they got their own they got their own bounce. They have their own stride that they like to do. And the Circle of Love, if you watch any video that's at World on Wheels, they'll do this little circle thing. They call it the Circle of Love. That's really big. And then like, the sliding and the Fomax and stuff. And then, like the history of people skating down at Venice Beach. The thing about Venice Beach, if you watch the documentary Roller Dream that I talked about, and even if you watch people that have gone to Venice Beach has its own choreo. They have choreo. Like they have choreo that people always do. They got the Venice Beach downtown. They got the Venice Beach. They call them like Alpha Kicks. If you watch D Upshaw, like he does them. If you watch Morgan Wesker, she does them everywhere. Morgan Wesker takes the Venice Beach combos everywhere she goes, and if she gets into a battle in a video, she's gonna do them. I promise. Go back and watch it. Like watch Roller Dreams and then go watch her footage. She gonna do the Venice Beach combos, and she'll talk about it too, cause she built a relationship with D as well. But yeah, so that's the only little piece of Cali history I'm gonna give y'all for here, and something. So if you're going to be coming into a community and you really want to do it and you want to do it the safe way and you want to do it the right way, the first thing that you have to understand is what I said earlier. You're going to die an outsider. You're never getting in. You will never have the spirit because you weren't born there, and that's okay. What you can hope to get is the moves. If you can get the moves and the inflections of the moves, you might be able to trick people into thinking that you have the spirit. But you're unlikely to get the spirit in more than 2 or 3 things. Like I have a lot of choreo, but I don't have the spirit to a lot of things. I think I've gotten the spirit of Michael Jackson. I have the spirit of a Drew Hall stepper. I don't even have that anymore. Like I can't invoke it. I can't bring it out of myself anymore. I'm not an iota anymore. I can't invoke the spirit. Like I don't look like everybody else. I don't feel like everybody else. Like, I'll always be in the fraternity, but the spirit, the feeling, the emotion, I don't have that anymore. And I have the spirit of being done busy, but that's about it. I've skated JB, I've skated Chicago, I skated Detroit, I skated Atlanta. I can learn any move. I can do any move on the planet. I can learn any footwork on the planet. But will I get the spirit of it? And so the first thing to understand is how important and how specific and how undeniable like these cultures that people are trying to come into or talk about really are. It's not just a skate move. It's an entire culture. It's a way of survival. And yeah, the second thing to notice is that you're going to be a beginner and to really act humbly Act actually humbly. A lot of times people will be like, "Oh, I'm trying to be humble. I'm trying to be this. I'm trying to be that." Like, no, like I take corrections. I take corrections. Like I'm like in the Muay Thai space, in the Jiu-Jitsu space, in the martial arts space. I take corrections, and I don't mean like, "Oh yeah, coach, I thought this." Coach said something, and I say, "Okay." That's the end of the conversation. That's the level of corrections that you really need to be on. Because if you're not that open and you're not that honest, even from like, children, I'm not saying that like, because some adults are adultists. People think it's wild to listen to children. But like if I'm in a classroom and I hear the kids say something, can't wait for the book. I'm writing it every single day. I'm writing that book every day. But and the children say something, I always listen to the children because I know the children. They know the school system better than me. They know each other better than me. So if I walk in, he said, "Teacher, more games. Teacher, more games." I'd be like, "I ain't got no games for you today, but next week we gonna play games. All right? You know what, kids? I ain't got no games, but we can watch some videos. Okay? Okay, 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 okay." And that's the second thing. Listen. You gotta listen. You gotta be humble. And finally, you gotta understand that you don't know what you're talking about. You really sometimes it's about finding the best people to put into places. And you know what I mean? I'm not a Moxie fan. I'm not a Moxie disser, but I'm not a Moxie fan. But one thing that I will say that they do well on the page is they don't talk about stuff they don't know about. Estrogen doesn't come on to talk about the history of the downtown. She called in Richard Humphrey. They called the guy. They said, "You know what, bruh? Just call him." And the thing is, it's one there's I overstand calling somebody. I overstand putting people on platforms. I overstand it. But most people are understanding it. So they like that opportunity to show their stuff. They like the opportunity to spread their word. They like the opportunity to, get to show people what they got to do. But I'll be right back. Let me plug this up. But even that could be a little bit exploitative, especially depending on how you do it. Because it's like if you're going to start like, because the thing about the Kel situation that I don't like the most, or something that I wouldn't mind as much, is if she was charging $100, if she charged $100 for lessons and D made 30% of every single hour or something, you know what I mean? Or if she was charging this much for lessons and, it's this much because, oh, man, it's a whole conglomerate of lessons. But I feel like she probably charging $100 for them lessons, putting all that money in her pocket and dipping. Because that's exploitative. That's, you know what I mean? If you're going to be making some bread off something, you hit the dudes, pay the team. You know what I mean? I guess that's just something that I do. I always pay my team. Like if my boy Cam, if my boy Cam come and shoot something, I pay him. I shout him out. I make sure everybody know who did it. Because, you know what I mean? If my boy Moondragon come up, he shoots something for me. He handles something for me. I pay him when I can pay him. And, I let everybody, I support him. So, you know what I mean? There's a difference between working with a community and coming with them in order to combine your strengths and go out and put a product out together. And, trying to use that community to learn and then profit from it. And that's when it really falls apart. And honestly, at the end of the day, you don't even have to worry about people. Game recognize game. Real recognize real. So if you're out here moving on that fake, then people going to know that you're moving on that fake. It's for you. Because if you out here moving on the real, if you out here giving out opportunities, if you out here, putting people on when you get a chance, that's going to get around. And that's why sometimes, people think I'm weird. People probably think I'm Beezy, like, what's good with homie? But the thing about Beezy is Beezy got love for everybody. Beezy show love for everybody. Beezy going to help people when it's time to help people. Beezy going to put people on. So if Beezy call you, you might as well just pick it up, see what he talking about, and then, work together. Sometimes I'll have an idea. I'll call somebody and I'll give it to them. Like, bro, I can't even do this. Make some money off this. I can't even do it. But you can. But you know what I mean? So if you working like that, putting people in the right places and then understanding it. Because I'm not saying any of this stuff because, oh, man. No, but people will gatekeep you from coming into their communities. And I think they should because of the amount of exploitation that really, really happens. We watching it in roller skating, and people don't like to see that happen to their communities. Like I get gate kept all the time. Like I'm getting gate kept in martial arts, but I also don't have any martial arts wins. And then I come in and I practice in a way that's incongruous than the way that a lot of other people practice and train. It's not wild for people to think I'm fool. It's not wild for people to think like, oh, Beezy don't get it in. Beezy ain't gonna be on your line if it come down to getting on your line. This guy on the internet, he probably can't fight because he just posted a comedy video in the Reddit. He don't know what's good, but you know what I mean? We get to throwing up hand signs and what's good, boy? Like, you know what I mean? And that's when people gotta be like, oh man, I gotta chill out on homie because he ain't going for it. He not sweet for none of that. But yeah, you know what I mean? So just to understand that that's coming, but it's not a malicious. It's not a malicious thing. It's actually just a part of it. And then everything else that I'm saying. But honestly, I'm working with a couple people right now, getting them ready to skate in the United States, breaking down the different parts about the culture. And I'm also talking to a couple people. I want y'all to put it in her ear. I ain't tell her yet. I ain't told her yet, but I want you to put this in her ear after you hear me say this. I want Tempest Nicole to start doing culture videos where she breaks down different parts of the culture and different rules in the ring. I want Tempest Nicole to start doing them. I ain't told her yet. I want Tempest or I want Yana Atlanta. I want Tempest to do it or I want Yana Atlanta to do it. I feel like one of them would be perfect. Yeah, the one of them would be perfect. Or I dance solo. I think one of them would be perfect for that. Let's talk about skates for a second. Do you know where I can find rhythm skates for men? Seems like online they only have women's skates and the only men's skates are 250 plus or just all black. Men's skates are black. Men's skates are black. I'm sorry. No, you're not getting any fancy skates. Unless you get the Rydell Unity and you take it to the color lab and you can also you can get a pair of vanilla, some jam skates, and you can get them in different colors. But for men, most of our skates are going to be black. The thing about Rydell is you can get a sub 200 Rydell package, the Uptown package. It comes with the 135 boot and I think like a reactor plate. I don't know the plates, but you know what I mean? It's like 135, and the package right above the Uptown too, it's like 210. So, and it comes with a 135 boot as well, but it just has a upgraded it has an upgraded plate and has upgraded wheels and upgraded bearings, so it's a little bit more. I would go with the Uptown for 135. Then I would spend that extra money, and I would use that extra money to get some bungee cord because smart skaters use. That's the funniest part about everybody and all these pretty ass sparkly butterfly laces. That's not even how you lace your skates, baby. Smart skaters use bungee cord. It's much tighter. It's much tighter. Like, go to Walmart and get some bungee cord. I promise it will change up your skates. But yeah, get the Rydell, the Uptown with the 135. Use that extra money before you hit the 250 to get the new wheels, to get some bungee cord and new wheels and bungee cord, and that'll put you at around 200. But yeah, for dudes, honestly, man, colorful skates, or you're gonna have to go with the Unity Color Lab, where you just gonna have to go custom. Honestly, bruh, if your skates are sparkly and colorful, I mean, rock with it. But I've never seen a pair of Moxies wear very well. Like they don't look good to me personally as they wear, because you know the suede gets grainy and it gets beat up. And you know the toe, for some reason, because of the toe, it's made of a softer material. It's not actually leather. It rounds. Have you ever noticed that? All the Moxie toes are like round. They lose like the contour that the leather has in the toe. And then they scuff really, really easily. If you're skating outside and you like accidentally drag it across the ground or something, it's gonna scuff really, really easily. And then yeah, man, the Impala boot, it looks terrible. The Impala boot, I mean, if you got an pair of Impalas, you got some Impalas, but the joints look terrible. There's been entirely too much about them breaking and stuff. It's an inferior boot, and it's an inferior skate. And the way that you know that you got a skate that wasn't really meant to do nothing in is because if it doesn't have adjustable toe stops, it's one thing to have toe stops, it's another thing to have non-adjustable toe stops. That's how you know these weren't meant to skate in. And Impalas come with non-adjustable toe stops. They're just cheap. You don't want cheap skates. You want a pair of skates that's gonna last you a couple years. You don't want cheap sparkly skates. I mean, I don't skate in Moxies. I never had a pair. People say they strong, but I just don't like the way they wear. I don't like that and it's just like I feel like I feel like it's not very snug around the toe, and that's why people have it tied so tightly around the toe that it starts to warp it. And that's just the one thing I'm like, you know what I mean? I like to and but you know what I mean? If it floats your boat or finds your lost remote, if Sparkly Pretty Skates do it for you, they do it for you. But I ain't never even seen nobody really turn tricks in a pair of Moxies. I've never seen somebody turn up in a pair of Moxies. I think wait, Priscilla, the only woman I know in the world that got some footwork that's rocking Moxies. That's been rocking Moxies for years. But she don't even wear like the jack boot. She wear like the leather boot. Like her joint is she got the leather leopard joint. So she don't even wear like the suede boot. So it's like, and then she got the vegan boot. She got like the vegan all white leather boot. Priscilla don't even rock them joints. Like, you know what I mean? And she on the level and everything. Hey yo, you do gotta be on your game. If you gonna walk around with the 172s. That's not the OG. That's the professional package. Rydell, I got the Rydell Zone Roller. Let me look that up real quick. The 172s. The thing I used to have the 172s. The thing about it is if you just gotta make sure that boot fit right. Because if that boot don't fit right, it's gonna be pressing up against your toe, and that joint is not comfortable when it's pressing up against your toe. Yeah, that. Uh, yeah, Priscilla. Yeah, bro. If Priscilla wasn't on the Moxie team, I say I drug everybody on that team. Like I would say something, bro. Every no, like bro, the whole like in a bowl, yeah, they got that bowl stuff, but we gonna roll about it. Priscilla's holding that whole team on her back when it comes to rolling about it, like and dancing about it. She got the team on her back, and right now she's skating. She been skating that trend stuff for years, man. She been studying this trend stuff for years, man. So she skate the trends and stuff, but nah, man, she in the SWA. She'll see what's good with you. Like if you oh yeah, the OGs. The thing about the OGs, they becoming more popular, but with the OGs, it depends on your style. I feel like people get OGs, but if you're not if you're not trying to have like a smoother style, and if you really trying to do some turns and stuff, then OGs is not for you. Cause like you gonna need if you can't go up top in no OGs. You can go up top, but it's gonna mess your stuff up. It's gonna mess your stuff up. Let me look this up real quick. But yeah, for skates, I actually ordered a pair of Rydales. I got a pair of Rydales, and I ordered them, and they came in like a couple days because their site said they were available. But I ordered some what's the names from another place, the Rydell Zone. This is a non-adjustable toe stop. This is crazy. Power Dine Thrust 9-line plate. I know this has to have an adjustable toe stop, cause the pro. Yeah, it got it. It got the adjustable. Man, because the thing about adjustable toe stops is it allows you the option to switch. But I don't know. Does your toe stop come out? It looks like they might have made these to compete with the popularity of the suede boots. And the thing about Rydell, I feel like if Rydell made a suede, and even if you look at it, they got a black suede and then they got the tan suede. So it's not like having a light blue suede where it stains a lot easier. The tan suede, the tan suede is a little swaggy, but it reminds me a lot of the yeah, it's adjustable. Yeah, you good money, cause you know the power dime. Yeah, like I was like, man, I know about that power dime plate with the radar wheel. Yeah, you got the tan. Of course, you got the tan. You had the swag on them. She said no black. Narrow feet, lol. Yeah, I got fat feet. I got fat feet. But yep. Yeah, those good money. The thing about Rydell is anything Rydell good money. And like the Moxie's them joints going for like 400, but I think it's about if I was gonna keep it a buck. I think it's 200 worth of skate. But marketing. Reconnection successful. Hey everybody, am I still here?